Loma said he gone.
Normally he is.
What happened?
Yeah, in all fairness, he doesn't get caught very often.
I know. Well, you had told us, there's a reason why you laid off there. You go, he doesn't have the angle.
Yeah. Normally when Gibbs hits that second level, Lomas and I are up there high five him because let's be honest, very rarely does he get caught. Yesterday it was like, I'm not going to say anything.
Most of the time, it's a safe bet to say.
Yeah. It's normally
when he gets in the open
dunk.
field. Obviously one of his superpowers is that he's super fast, but his acceleration is amazing.
Yeah, and his ability, even in like close quarters, to be able to move side, his agility without really breaking stride is incredible. Like I watched some of these highlights, and it looks like it's sped up. It's like, how do you make that juke at full speed? Most of the time, you got to slow down, chop a little bit, and then make the way he can put a foot in the ground and just change direction so fast.
You and I can do that at full speed, but our full speed's not quite that fast.
I would be in the hospital if I tried to make a move like that. My knee would be pointing the other way if I tried to make some of those cuts. But, he's fun to watch.
Let's get some of the calls in. 248-539-9797. Lamar, you're on 97.1.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show, as always. I just wanted to talk about, just address the fans, not to get too, too upset with the Lions, because they got to take in consideration, the different variables that this team has to endure. In any team, when they lose that many players in the secondary, your entire secondary, we're talking about a cause and effect aspect here. You got these guys out and you got second string players coming in, adjusting, and they played great, a game ago, but you can't expect them to play at a, starter level 100% of the time. So I want to just talk about the different variables that the Lions have to overcome. Jared Goff, he lost an all-pro tight end, Sam Laporta. That guy blocks. He's a safety net, when he needs to dump the ball off. So these are all of the variables that we have to look at when we think about when we look at these games.
Lamar, don't the Giants have more variables? Like they don't have Malik Neighbors. The Lions got back DJ Reed, right? They're playing their third.
Been rusty. He has to adjust.
Okay, but they're playing their third quarterback in Jameis Winston. Like if someone's going to complain about adversity and excuses, the Giants would be the one to say we shouldn't even be in this football game. And yet here they are with the ball in overtime, chance to tie or win.
Well, but the Giants are a good football team. They had bad coaching, bad leadership, and you saw that in a lot of the games, the Eagles games, the Cowboys, and you saw what the Giants can do. And then with new leadership, new motivation, it's any given Sunday here. That's my only point is that we've got to be, we can't be so hard on a team that has to adjust with all of these different variables going on.
Lamar, they have a Super Bowl standard. I don't think we're being overly harsh. They have a Super Bowl standard. I think that's the standard we hold them to. Right? I mean, there was a game this year they won, and Dan Campbell said not good enough.
Right.
Good enough to win that game, but not good enough to win the Super Bowl. And I think that's all the energy I've tried to bring today is, hey, man, good to win, good to avoid the doom, but not good enough if you want to win a Super Bowl.
Well, and the Giants haven't been good enough to win very many games. They've only won 2 games. And you look at one of those games was against Philly. That's a big-time win. And they could have beaten Dallas. They could have beaten Denver. They had a chance to beat a lot of good teams. They just haven't found a way to do it. When you're playing against a team like that has some potential, but they're a 2-win team, and you know that they're out of it. They've already fired their coach. You got to have a heightened awareness of the trick plays because they're going to throw everything at you.
And they did. And
the kitchen sink. And especially after the first trick play, they're going to come back. It's not going to be the same one, but with something different. And they did. And when you're playing against a team back against the wall and they got nothing to lose, can be a tough team to play against. But the Lions did what they had to do. They made the plays when it mattered most to come away with a win.
TJ, what did you make of Aleem McNeil playing more edge?
Yeah, I think it's a way to get some of your better players on the field. Do I want Aleem out there, pass rushing on third downs?
No.
Maybe not. But I think in the run game, look, it allows you to get, Tyleek Williams and DJ Reader or even Roy Lopez, who's been a really good addition for them up front. It allows you to get some of your better players on the field. And Aleem has shown, I think, in the run game that he can box up the tackle, man. Like, he's not going to get, shoved out wide or, let up a soft edge. He's going to set the edge out there. And this, before the Philly game, Tyleik Williams' rep count started going down a little bit just with Aleem McNeil's return. He was kind of the odd man out.
Yep.
But when you looked at the stats, it was about the same, like 105 runs with Tyleik on the field and 105 runs with Tyleik off the field. And there was a clear difference. It was like 3.2 yards a carry with him on there and very few explosive runs. And then without him was like 4.9 a carry with like a 15%, explosive run rate. And I think the coaches realized that. Like, we got to find a way to get this kid back on the field. Now, you start getting into that game, well, who's going to lose reps? Well, hey, let's find a way to shift, man. If Aleem McNeil's a heck of an athlete for his size, he's a guy that's agile. He can move. Let's kick him out the defensive end in some of these first downs and run situations to make it hard to get some movement and get those other guys on the field. So I think that it's obviously it's good. It's been 2 weeks now since they've done it. I obviously did a pretty good job last week against Saquon Barkley and Philly. And yesterday, I think it was, about 3.5 yards a carry they allowed to the Giants. So I think it's been a nice adjustment for them.
But as the trade-off, then you lose some of the teeth of your pass rush. I know it's situational. I'd have to look at the snap counts, but that's you don't want him at 310 on a passing down on the edge.
I mean, I don't want to be a smartass, but what pass rush do you speak of?
Right.
It's like, I know I'm being
but I think we're saying the same thing then.
Yeah,
right?
but I think it's more situational. First down, second and short, third and short. Like, we're down by 10. We know they're probably going to run the ball and get some time off the clock. I think it's more run situations that we've seen him kick outside just to get some heavier bodies there on the inside. Now, it's interesting because the Giants did have some success in the play action game yesterday, and guys just kind of getting lost, right? Like, you score the first touchdown, and then the next play, it's 41-yard pass to the running back out of the backfield, and it's like, whose responsibility was that? And so that's something that they're going to have to shore up. I thought there was just a lot of space for the receivers and tight ends and running backs for Giants coming out of the backfield in some of those play action games.
Did you guys talk about on the broadcast the fourth down call that the Giants made at the end of regulation?
Go for it. Instead of going up
6. What did you make, John? Were you in favor of it, John?
If I was them, I probably would have kicked the field goal.
Okay.
Knowing that you're going to have to force the Lions to score a touchdown versus just a field goal to tie it up to go to overtime.
Yeah, you force them to go 70 yards instead of, I think they end up going 30 yards and tying the game. I get it both sides. I mean, you're looking at it saying, hey, it's a 2-9 football team. They got a chance to end it right here. And the flip side, you're like, yeah. I mean, if Dan Campbell did that, I'd probably be a little upset because it's like, gosh, you're just. Hey, listen, I get you trying to go for the throat right now and end this thing, but make him go the distance of the length of the field, right? And even in the second half, neither offense was really doing a ton. I mean, I know the Lions scored the last 17 points, but I got it both ways. I could understand why they decided to go for it. The 2-9 football team, we got nothing to lose. If we can come out here and end this thing right now on the road, get a win, like, we're feeling pretty damn good about ourselves.
You get it, you win the game. You don't, the Lions have to start shadow their own goalposts. If you kick it, you go from being up 1 score to being up 1 score, and then the Lions know they're going to use all 4 downs because they got to play for a touchdown, as opposed to, hey, we may settle for a field goal. It's only 3.
Yeah, I think that was 4th and goal from the 6th.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of looking at it like, probably
take
low
the
percentage there. If it's 4th and goal from the 2 or 3, like, I think probably looking at that a different way. But it's a 2-9 football team with nothing to lose, and it wasn't a surprising decision.
Let's get back to the phones. Let's go to Chris in Ypsilanti. Chris, you're on 97.1.
Hey, boys. A few points. First, I'll clean up a couple things. TJ, on that leaky running back, that was on Jack Campbell. He's supposed to be man up on that running back, but when the running back stays in the pass protect, he blitzes. And Motor Singletary was faking, or Tyrone Tracy was faking the pass protection and then jumping out into the flat. So
it kind of seemed that way to me. That, normally your linebackers are matched up with running backs. I didn't know if that was a design blitz and somebody was supposed to replace that. I just, when you get plays like that where a guy clearly doesn't get beat one-on-one, it's hard to just put it all on one guy because, look, we don't know the scheme or what the play call was. But I agree that it looked the way that you said it. Yeah.
And then 91 for the Giants, that's Darius Alexander. He's a rookie out of Toledo. And, you're right, he's not really the one you worry about. But He's a good player, second-round pick, and matched up on Coyote Awasika, I would not expect Coyote to win that matchup. Darius Alexander's a better pass rusher than Coyote is a pass blocker. But the main point that I wanted to make is I wanted to shout out that call from about an hour ago, Leah. What a great call. I think she's absolutely right. That, this team is good. It's just not firing on all cylinders yet, but that doesn't matter until the playoffs. And when you look at what's going on, yesterday the defensive performance was unacceptable, but the offense played fairly well, with a couple hiccups. Against the Eagles, the defense was spectacular. Against the Bucs, the defense was spectacular, but, the offense wasn't firing. And then, there have been games for the special teams, Minnesota, they weren't firing. So we haven't seen a game where all three units are firing at the same time, which is both frustrating, but also if it does happen, this team is going to be really, really good. The identity of this team, TJ, I think is right. This is a physical team. They want to run the ball, bring the safety down, and then hit you in the mouth with JMO or Laporta or Gibbs, blah, 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 right? They want to impose their will. And then on defense, they want to be smothering, right? They want to force third and long and then make you make an incredible throw against tight, sticky man coverage. So here's the thing. The only thing that gives me pause is that when you're going up against a team that doesn't have a dominant defensive interior, you're going to win, right? Like Coyote Alsik is actually a good run blocker, and Tate Ratledge is a good run blocker, and you're going to be able to make that game script work. But when you go up against a Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, well, the run game seizes up, and then the whole offense seizes up. They are entirely dependent on the success of that run game. And then for the defensive side of the ball, if you have a team that's willing to show run and throw, you are really susceptible to explosive plays because the defensive line is so locked in on stopping the run that they're not generating a pass rush, and they're really susceptible to that play action fake. So if you have a really aggressive, if you have a really, really aggressive quarterback like Jameis Winston, who's exceptionally aggressive,
fearless,
you can kind of get hung out to
reckless
dry.
At times, but yes.
Kudos to the Giants. That was some of those plays were really, really well designed. They're just not as talented as we are. And so, look, I think this team, if they make the tournament, can win the Super Bowl. Yes. Will you make the playoffs? I don't know, because you still have some really tough opponents on the calendar, right? Dallas is not a pushover. Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams in the interior, where you have a matchup disadvantage. The Pittsburgh Steelers, which is Keanu Benton and Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt, that is and then Logan Wilson, the linebacker level, and Patrick.
Chris, I love you. We can't break down every single game on the schedule. This has been a great phone call. I let you go for a while because it's good stuff. But I'm just looking at the clock. I got people in my ear. It's a good phone call. We got more good phone calls to get to before we wrap. It's 97.1.